Hey, what's up, everybody? It's that guy, Skimpy, and this is Tackle Talk with Skimp, where I'm going to be interviewing a bunch of different bait makers, whether they pour jigs or pour plastics or make swim baits or airbrush or modify molds or even making molds. Anything that has to do with bait making and tackle, I want to talk about it. So let's go. Oh my God! Look at it. Dinko mold. This is the 5-inch one. All right, we're just going to jump right in. I got question number 1 for you. What is your name and where are you from?
My name is Derek Caballero. Everybody calls me Cab, hits Cab Catch, from Louisiana. That's where I live, currently in the northwest region, close to Toledo Bend.
Okay. So question number 2 is, where can we find you? Like, what social media platforms and stuff are you on?
I mainly use Instagram, and that's at Cab Catch or at Goblin Baits, all one word.
Okay.
I have Facebook, is Cab Catch. I don't use it as much.
Right.
Just not a personal fan of Facebook. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I do post fishing stories like on Snapchat. That same thing at cab_catch. You know.
Okay.
Typically is where I'm at.
Perfect. All right. Question number 3 is, how long have you been fishing?
37, 38 years.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, I doubt I was fishing when I was 1. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
basically, you grew up fishing. So
grew up fishing, but not just bass fishing, but like grew up South Louisiana, South Mississippi area.
Okay.
A lot of saltwater fishing. Of course, we'd go inland and do bass fishing and everything else. So.
All right. All right. Question number 4 is, would you rather fish for smallmouth or largemouth bass? And a bonus question, what is your PB?
Okay. So I've never bass fished north of the Mason-Dixon line. All right.
Okay.
So, or even out west. Actually, I mean, I did fish in Montana one time, but we were going for like pike, the northerns.
Yeah.
And the walleye and stuff. So largemouth is kind of gonna take that one.
Okay.
And my personal best, even though it's debated amongst a lot of my friends, when I was 12, I caught a 13-pound 3-ounce bass.
Holy cannoli, man! Golly.
Yeah, dude. It was right after a rainstorm. We had it mounted. That was back before pictures were a real big thing, but it was mounted. And when I was in college, my mom's house burned down, and we lost the fish.
Dang.
So, but I'll ride or die on that one. Out of one of those little paddle boats that you paddle with your feet.
Oh, that's awesome! I bet you that took you for a ride too. I bet.
Yeah.
Oh
man, look, it drug me all over the pond.
Yeah, I can imagine. All right. Question number 5 is, what got you started making your own baits?
So here's a story. All right. So my papa Ronnie, he used to fish a lot of tournaments in the 70s and 80s, a lot of semi-pro and even a couple of professional ones. And back then, if you wanted a cool lure, you had to make it.
Right. Yeah.
So about 4 years ago, I was down south visiting my papa, and he barely fishes anymore. He's old, but he's like, hey, I got some of my old bait making stuff if you want it. It's like just nostalgia, because I mean, his hand carved little lipless crank, those little lipless or his like jerk baits and stuff. I wish I would have brought him in here. It's just a conglomerate of go get him. It's a conglomerate of like just really old school baits. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And a little box of their living room on top of the shelf. And like, so I was like, man, this is cool. I'm not gonna fish with any of this because they're all ugly. You know what I mean? Like,
and you don't want to lose them.
Back then, like, right? You don't want to lose them in like some snagless sallies and stuff like that. And then like And there was a long break where I didn't fish. I had a friend who passed away. He and I used to fish together a lot, and he passed away, and I kind of stopped fishing after that. Well, about 14 years later, I get into fishing again. Oh, here we go. Look, like you know, just just a lot of crazy. You know, all these are wooden, of course.
It still looks cool, man. Those are awesome.
Oh yeah, his homemade spinnerbaits that he made and his little buzz baits and stuff, you know. So I was like, man, I'm gonna put that on my shelf. You know what I mean? It's gonna be cool.
Heck yeah.
Well, then I get back into fishing, and I found myself. I was like, every time I'd go to a store, gas station, because you know every gas station around here has a tackle shop in it. I'd walk out with like $35, $40 in tackle.
Yeah.
You know, and like I started watching YouTube to see what's going on with fishing these days because I hadn't even paid attention to it in forever. Well, of course, this is before he got big. Like one of the people that I saw on YouTube a lot was that Milliken guy.
Yeah.
You know, and he was always catching fish on glide baits, and I was like, look at the size of that bait, just like everybody else. Like, what is it gonna catch with that? You know, and like he started catching like big ones. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna get one of those type, right? So I start looking at them. I'm like, man, these things are expensive.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, what are people thinking? Well, then he starts advertising that he's coming out with the draw, you know? And like I was like, it's gonna make it affordable for just the common fishermen. So I'm like, oh dude, like I'm gonna get that one.
Right.
So launch date's here and I'm on my phone and I'm like, oh, I'm just waiting for it to say go, you know. And as soon as it launches, like I go to click the shad one, unavailable all of a sudden. So I was like, everybody's snatching them up. So I just click all the way to the bottom, and there was a bluegill one, and I clicked on that one, got it in the inbox. Said, boy, I hit the buy button. I'm like,
Yep.
And then like $112, dude, shipped to the house, and it comes in. And I'm like, yes, I'm gonna catch the biggest fish around here because nobody in this area fishes with this kind of stuff. And I got to thinking, I was like, I literally lose every lure that I throw. What am I thinking? Like, I can't throw this. You know, like I can't go fish with this thing.
Right.
It's like $112. Like, I'm an idiot. So I go to the boat ramp, right? And I cast it out just even like in the shallow water over the concrete, just in case it comes off, just so I could watch it swim a little bit.
Right.
And then one day I was sitting there with it, and I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of like looking at it, sitting in my chair, and I was like, man, can't believe I got this, you know. I was like, and I saw that rack of baits sitting over there that I just showed you from my pawpaw, and I was like, wait a second. I said, pawpaw used to make all his own stuff back in the day. You know, I'm pretty sure technology is a little bit more advanced.
Yeah.
You know, from back then to now. I said, I wonder if I could do this. You know, I wonder if that's a thing. So YouTube, you know what I mean? And dude, next thing you know, like I was like, well, I'm gonna start off carving some stuff. I've always been artistically inclined. So I carve a few, you know, I'm like, oh man, this is kind of cool. And then I was like, well, soft plastic works as well, you know? So I start researching the soft plastic stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, so I started making those, and I'm like, dude, start researching like the jig, the lead pour and stuff. And then like, I'm just start making my own stuff.
Yep.
And it just blew up from there. And a buddy of mine was like, dude, you need to sell these because people started winning on them around here, especially in these shootouts. And I was like, dude, ain't nobody gonna want my baits, you know, because I would just throw somebody a pack of some crazy color worm that I made,
right.
You know, or like, hey, try this new glide that I just made, you know. Bad thing about fishermen is that like if they're doing good on something, they're not gonna tell you, right?
True.
They don't want it getting out. It sucks for marketing, right? I would give something to somebody and I wouldn't hear back from them at all. I'm like, well, damn, I guess that bait sucked. You know what I mean? Like, glad they didn't pay for it,
right?
You know, until, you know, 5 months later, like, hey, I need another one of those, or I need some more. Like, well, what'd you do with the ones that I gave you? He's like, well, I've been catching fish on them. And like, I was like, well, how come you haven't sent me any pictures to post on the Instagram and stuff?
Because I got to keep it secret.
Because I don't want anybody else. Yeah, dude, it's terrible, right? So my buddy convinces me to make social medias because I didn't have any, and it just kind of went from there.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome that you're doing like everything too. It's not just you're not just doing everything. One thing. That's That's awesome. All right.
Right.
I got question number 6. What is your favorite bait to make? And a bonus question, what is your favorite color to make?
Okay. So like I make a bunch of different kind of glides.
Okay.
You don't see a lot of them on Instagram. I mean, if I remember to take a picture of one,
Okay.
the capital ad, you know, I'm eat up with it. So I like making glide baits.
Yeah.
Right. And as far as actually just physically making it, I would say like all of like my resin poured baits, you know, they're the same. All of my soft plastics, you know, except for if I'm like single color or laminating them, they're pretty much all the same. You know, the favorite thing that I like doing, I like the creative process of
Absolutely.
the beginning stages of it, you know, making the master, whichever means I find to do that.
Mhm.
One of my goals was to try to make a master every possible way you can make a master.
Yeah.
So carving them, 3D printing. One of the first ones that I've seen to master replicating an actual live shad and turning that into a glide bait.
That's
So
awesome.
I think making the swimmers, that's the creative process is my favorite part.
Oh.
And my favorite color is just like a simple shad, dude.
Yep,
You know,
yep.
a little white with some silver, you know,
Okay.
something dumb and easy.
Okay. On the opposite side, what baits do you hate to make, and what colors do you hate to make? I'm not saying that they
So
don't work. I'm saying like what are the most pain in the butt to make?
Jigs, dude. Pouring lead and jigs.
Really?
Dude. Like,
Okay.
for some reason, yeah, dude. Because like a lot of those things, you have to put a bunch of little pieces in the mold, you know.
Okay.
And like this, especially with the spinner baits, and I even do like custom spinner baits and stuff that I make myself.
Awesome.
You know, but it's just like getting all that to line up just right, and then like you pull it out and cool. If everything lines up perfectly, I got it in there, sweet, thank goodness, because that's some small pieces that I'm trying to,
Yeah.
you know. But like powder coating them, man, like it's always the powder coats getting them, having to like, you know. I could use little small different tips and tricks that, you know, other well-known people use.
Yeah.
But that's just too much for me. I'm just trying to hurry up and make something so I can go fish with it.
Gotcha.
You know.
Gotcha.
So I would say like lead stuff like that.
See, the lead is my bread and butter, man. That's what I love doing the most.
You got the patience for it, man. Like, no, they're great, and I make them, and I make some cool ones. But man, it's
a pain in the
butt. A
little
irritating sometimes to me. Yeah.
All right. I have question number 8 is what is some good advice for someone just who wants to get into making their own baits?
Don't listen to anybody on social media when asking for advice.
Amen.
You know, don't do that. And if you do make one of those blanket posts like, hey, I'm having issues with this, right? And you'll have 1,000 responses. Don't listen. But if you get a direct message from somebody,
okay,
with a tip or a trick, you know, the one that's direct messaging you, that's the one that's like that knows what he's talking about. For one, other for two, like he's not interested in all of the hibbity hoobla going on a comment thread.
Exactly.
You know, and so, and then plus, like, if he's direct messaging, he might not want a bunch of people to know. You know,
that is true. I mean? Yeah.
You know, because there's especially when it comes to this resin stuff, you know, there's a million different things that can go wrong with them, and then people have a million different problems with them.
Right.
And sometimes, like, you'll ask a question, like, people get micro bubbles in them, like, oh, you're stirring too fast. Oh, you have bad resin. No, it's just part of the process. If you're stirring it,
right?
you know, like. It's gonna happen, you know, and especially if you have the quick set and stuff, because dude, you got like 30 seconds to get all that stuff mixed, and then you go to pouring, and there's a few small like prep tricks you can do and an actual pouring techniques,
right?
And, like, you don't want every mama to know that stuff,
right?
You know, so if somebody struggling with it, I'll send them a direct message, and I've had people direct message me as well. So
that's awesome. You know, I've always been willing to share anything. I've been making baits for almost 20 years now, all different kind of baits, and I don't sell them, so I don't care. I'll teach anybody anything. But I mean,
Right.
there are times where, you know, a buddy will come over here and he'll make like his own custom color and stuff like that. And I'm not just going to give out those secrets, but I mean, if someone asks,
Right.
hey, what's the best way to make a bluegill looking jig? You know, I'm going to show them the colors and stuff to make.
Right. Right.
Okay.
Yeah, dude, YouTube, like, yeah, there's some really good channels.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And there's only a couple where you can go and get multiple different techniques for different things from.
Yeah.
Right. But if you're committed, you know, you'll be able to find who's good at like painting the scales. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I didn't know how to paint scales until I saw Hashimoto doing it on a 4-year-old video. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? But if you're committed, you see something on YouTube, you know, try it out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Definitely.
And most people who do that, and I'm being one of them, like, I found out the best way not to do something.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But that's, you know, that comes with trial and error as well, though. So,
oh, huge. You have to be willing for the trial and error. You have to understand, like, you're going to lose money, especially whenever it comes to you're first starting out.
Exactly.
A new technique or a new type of bait, right? Because you're going to ruin plastic. You know, you're gonna ruin silicone.
Yep.
You know what I mean? You're gonna waste resin. You're gonna get your ratios messed up. You know, so it's, if you could get past that part, like, you're pretty good.
Exactly. All right. Question number 9. Is there anything special that you've been working on lately? And can you show off some of your baits, please?
So, I mean, yes and no. I wouldn't say like special, but it's one of those, like, I'm always creating.
Okay.
All right. I mean, if you go look on my Fusion, I have 7,000 designs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then if you look at my carving box, I've got 100 different carvings going on in there. You know, but I would probably say, like, the one that I kind of find special is that the realistic stuff that I've done.
Yeah.
You know, because it's just, I didn't see it before, and I had the bright idea, like, what if I got like a real shad and was able to like replicate it, right? And then make a mold and it have a realistic glide bait. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Like, yeah.
So we have a hatchery here, and I know the girl that works there, and I was like, you got any shad over there? And she was like, for what? I was like, I'm looking for something like 5 to 15 inches, anywhere in there, you know? She was like, we don't keep them on hand, but we go electroshock all the time.
Okay.
And all kind of stuff bubbles up, you know? We see all kind of stuff like that. I'm like, well, when you go next time, like, can I have them? You know? She was like, yeah, sure, no problem. You know, a couple months later, she calls me and says, I got some fish for you. And I show up, and she's got a bag, I mean, full of all kind of different bluegill, a bunch of different size shad. You know, I like one of them's 14 inches.
Nice.
You know, I got a bunch of shiners from like this big to this big, you know. And the ones that I've molded, it took me 4 shad to finally get the process right.
Okay.
On actually molding the shad. But I have one that's not finished here. You can see like finished ones on my Instagram, but this one here, you know, this is, I don't know how well
I can see it.
It's showing up.
Yeah.
But this was molded from a real shad out of one of our local waters, you know, and this is the Cabco shad. And then I had I did a golden shiner as well. Well, here's a headpiece. I broke the tail on accident, but here's the headpiece for the this was a collaborative bait.
Okay.
You know, I molded the golden shiner, and I sent a copy of the mold to Swamp Trout.
Okay.
All right. And he made a couple of different designs from the same master that I made the glide out of. So I mean, he's got some crank downs made out of that master. He's got some softies, you know, he's got some 3 and 4 pieces he made.
Very cool.
You know,
yeah.
Yeah, and so as you know, collaborative. I made the master. I did my glide thing. Send a copy of the master to somebody else. You know, same thing I did with this Cobrigger. He hadn't been around here lately, but he made a mine is the Cab Co Shad, and his is the Co Cab Shad.
Okay.
same master, two different little designs, you know. But I mean, I got things like this is the little zipper, you know.
Nice.
Yeah, it's just a little quick thing. This is one of my originals. This is the GQ. I designed this one and made it. I mean, it's big. Like when it's all said and done, it's like 11 inches, you know. And then the one that a lot of people have like this is a personal one. It looks ugly because it's mine.
It's all good. All good.
People don't understand. Like I am not about to put a whole bunch of intricacy on ones that I'm fishing. You know what I mean? Because the fish are going to bite it regardless. But this is a Sally.
That still looks good, man.
Yeah, dude. Like I made from pouring it to clear coating within an hour.
Oh wow!
And I had to get it done before a tournament, right? because I didn't have any. The problem is whenever you're making these things, dude. Like my initial goal was, I just want to make my own baits. For one, it's way cheaper than like a gallon of plastisol will last, 800 worms or so. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
It is like what, $50 shipped to the house, but I wanted to make them fish with them and win tournaments with them, So I tournament fish, and me and my partner, that's all we use is baits that I make. And the people like, hey, I need this, or hey, you got one of those, right? Especially if they see me at a boat ramp or something. I'm like, as a matter of fact, I do. And like, I might have a Sally, right? Sitting there. This is a Sally. I might have a Sally sitting there. I'm like, well, here, just take this one, And I'm like, damn, now I don't have one to fish for myself. So I need to hurry up and make it.
Yeah, exactly.
And then it's like that one, the Sally started doing real good. Like I really like the action of it, right? So I made a bigger version. This is the big Sal. Only if it's just a bigger version of this, And the only you can find this one on Instagram. I've sent these to a couple of people. Hashimoto, he got one. He wanted one in a yellow perch.
Very cool.
He got a yellow perch and cichlid combo. He wanted a Sally to be cichlid, and this one. Can't remember if I sent one to swamp trout. I sent one to somebody. I can't remember. It was a while back.
Well, off subject, I got a buddy named Big Sal. Shout out to my boy Big Sal.
Yeah, hey, look, there it is. This is the Big Sal.
Yeah.
Look, this was pretty.
Shout out to my boy Big Sal.
Yeah. Yeah. I designed that one on Fusion and the Buddha gill. Like just ugly stuff before paint.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I still have a little bit of sanding and smoothing, but just whenever I'm making them to sell, like whenever they get finished, I want them to be as smooth and seamless as possible because, oh, dude, people will like, for the like 90% of the people who are buying this stuff, like care about that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And, that, you don't want to get blasted for having like a bait with like pits in the top of it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Or something, they'll roast you, you know, even though they all fish the same and work the same, it doesn't affect anything. But
exactly,
part of the process, you got to try to keep the customer happy.
Exactly. Well, hey, I only got one more question for you.
Mm-hmm.
It's question number 10, and if you can fish with anyone dead or alive, who would it be?
Oof, that's tough. Because I'd probably say I'd be a mix between my son and my pawpaw.
Yep. Nothing wrong with that.
I mean, like even though my son he's really terrible at catching fishes, like he's a great net guy.
Yep.
Actually, oh, he's showing me a smallmouth. He just caught. He went up to Montana with his mom and caught a smallmouth up there. That was his very first smallie that he got.
All right.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
And then we were on the coast, the Mississippi coast, at the fishing camp a few weeks ago for the 4th of July. We did a lot of saltwater fishing, and he hooked into a big red. We was out there, and
Took him for a ride.
He struggled with it for about I'd say 7 to 10 minutes, and then next thing you know, he's on the front deck of the boat. He's laid out, or my papa. I hadn't been like he got old.
Yeah.
So getting him in and out of the boat and stuff. I went down last time we went fishing was 4 years ago. I trailered the boat down there and we went fishing off the back of the 40. The backside of the Ninth Ward in New Orleans, and some of his old marsh stomping grounds.
Okay.
And caught quite a few. So one of those two sentimental type stuff.
Yeah, for sure. Well, man, that's all the questions I got. Do you have any shout outs or you want to add anything or anything?
I mean, like, I guess shout outs, like, man, it's too many to name.
Yeah.
Like, y'all know who y'all are.
Yeah.
Y'all know who y'all are. Like,
if you know me, then you know who you are.
Right. If you see me following you on Instagram, then those are the ones I'm shouting out, right? And for future follows, future not follows, whatever, I'm not one of those. It's like, oh, I gotta get my members up,
Right.
Like my profile stays private for a reason.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, like I don't care about none of that. That I just, man, people like to fish,
Exactly.
and people have cool stories.
Yeah.
So all y'all, y'all know who y'all are.
All right. Well, hey, I appreciate you coming on. Everybody watching, I appreciate you guys watching, and that's the show.
Yeah, dude.
Cut.
Sweet. That's a